Hello, my name is Nanko Pontip and I'm going to tell you about my Chevening story. I decided to apply for Chevening while I was serving. So in Nigeria it's called the National Youth Service Corps, and I was serving in a university. So at that time I knew that after my service I wanted to further my master's in the UK, but I also knew that I did not have the funds to be able to pay for my fees or pay for my stay while in the UK, and I needed to get a scholarship. And at that time I knew what I wanted to do for my master's, but then the question was how? How will I fund my fees? So that's when I decided to apply for scholarships. So Chevening was not the only scholarship I applied for, but I'll be talking about the others in some other video. So the first step I took after deciding to apply for Chevening was going through the Chevening website. So I went to the Chevening website to see what I needed, what were my requirements, was I eligible, what did I need to know, what do I need to write, what do I need to... So I did a lot of research to find out what I needed to do to get the Chevening Scholarship. Another good thing about the Chevening Scholarship is that it's purely by merit, so I needed to know what I will do to be able to merit the Chevening Scholarship. So I went to their website, checked documents I needed to get, essays I needed to write, and universities I wanted to study in, and the courses that they were taking, and if I was eligible to be able to get admission at those universities. I'll be talking about the documents that you need for Chevening in my next video, but right now I'm going to be talking about my journey in applying. After my research and I realized what I needed to have in order to get my Chevening Scholarship, I decided to start. So I started making drafts for my essays. I am not a professional essay writer, or I'm not a poet, I'm not a writer, but I had a story to tell and stories that were true. And I also knew English, I also know how to speak English. So I decided to put in all the skills that I knew to be able to tell my story very well. And then I researched more on how to write better, and then how to write my essays better. So that's how I was able to start. So I started drafting my essays. So number one, I started drafting my essays. And then after I was drafting my essays, I did not have any friend who had gotten a Chevening Scholarship before. I did not know anyone who had gotten a Chevening Scholarship before. But I did not let that make me feel, oh, I have no one to proofread my essays. How will I get this? No, that's not what I was thinking about. I believed in what I could do. But then what I had were friends who could help me proofread my essays. Do you understand? So my friends helped me proofread. I had two friends that helped me proofread my essays. So whenever I wrote, so like I said, they were not Chevening scholars and they were not on a certain scholarship scheme, but then they also knew English. So you also want like a second person perspective and a third person perspective in looking at your essays. Yeah, that's if you do not have a Chevening scholar to go through your essay. So that's what I did, and I gave them my essays to go through them, and then they gave me feedback on how they interpreted my tune to be, or what they could see, or the errors that they could see. I also employed the help of Grammarly. Grammarly is an app where it helps me checks grammatical errors. I have to remind you that this is not an AI writing for me, but it only checks my grammatical errors. So simple spelling errors that we can make, or tenses that we can mix, it will help you fix that. So that's what I used. I used Grammarly to help me proofread my essays. And then the second thing that I did was that I went to get my documents. So I was serving in a different state from where I lived before my National Youth Service Corps. So I traveled back to my state, which is Plateau State, to be able to get all my documents from my university, which I'll be talking to you about later on documents that you need in applying for a Chevening Scholarship. So I got those documents. That was the second thing I did. And then the third thing that I did was that I went to research on the universities that I wanted to go to, universities that were taking the course that I wanted to study their requirements and if I met their eligibility criteria, because I don't want to get the Chevening Scholarship and then find out that I did not get any admission at all. Another thing that I would like to say is that I noticed that different scholars use different approaches in applying for their Chevening Scholarship. Some had already gotten an offer from a university before they applied for Chevening Scholarship, but I did not get an offer. I did not get an offer from any university whatsoever before applying for my Chevening Scholarship. I also knew that applying for Chevening, for those who apply right now, is really too tedious. It's really, really tedious. And I did not want my mind and my energy to be at different places. So I wanted to directly focus on applying for Chevening. So I went through to the universities that I was eligible for. I wrote them down and picked the top 3 that I knew I could get in. After going to their eligibility and their criteria and everything I needed to get admission in those universities, I was 90% sure I was going to get the admission from those 3 universities. 90% sure. I can't say I was 100% sure because anything can go wrong, but I was 90% sure that I could get admission in those universities. And those were the 3 universities that I wrote down and I put into my application as universities that I wanted to go to in my Chevening application. Because for those who do not know yet, once you submit, you can't change those 3 universities. Yeah. So my first choice and my second choice and my third choices were universities that I was sure I was going to get admission in. Do you understand? So that's another thing that I did. So I researched universities and I was sure I was going to get admission at those universities, and then I put them there. My plan was that after I had submitted my Chevening application, then I would start forging to apply individually to those 3 universities. Do you understand what I mean? So fast forward, I finally got the admissions at those universities, but I just want to say for applying for Chevening, I was 90% sure I was going to get those universities before inserting them in my Chevening application. So my drafts, and then after feedback from my friends, I kept on making corrections, and then when I was done with my essays, I'll talk about essays in another video. But for now, I just want to say that these were the things that I did. Another thing that I did by applying was that I am a Christian and I had faith in God as well. So I don't know who you believe in, but as for me, I believe in Jesus Christ, and I kept on believing in Him to help me get this scholarship. So while I put in all this hard work, I also backed it up by prayers and for favor from God for me to be able to get this scholarship. I also like to say that this was my first time applying for Chevening. So this is also to those who this is their first time applying. Don't be scared. Just do your best and believe that you will get it. Don't think that, oh, because you need to keep applying many times before you get it. There are also people who it wasn't their first time applying but still got it. I think it's all about believing in yourself and also putting in your very, very best till the end. Being a first timer applying for Chevening, I got a lot of, oh, do you know how many people apply for Chevening in the world? This is your first time. Oh, just try. Maybe it will just be a testing ground for you to apply many more times. If I had listened to those words of discouragement, I promise you I wouldn't have written my essays, I wouldn't have started my application, and at the end of the day, I wouldn't have gotten the scholarship. So my dears, please don't let anyone discourage you. Even if it's your first time, don't let anyone discourage you in applying for this scholarship. As long as you have gone through the eligibility criteria and you see that you are the candidate, you are Chevening material, don't let anyone talk to you otherwise. Go for it and apply, and that's what I did. So one of my advice to you also is, don't listen to the naysayers that will tell you cannot get it. You can get it. I got it in my first try, you can get it. And if it's your second or third time, you can still get it. Don't let anyone discourage you whatsoever. Believe in yourself and do your best. Yeah? But please don't doubt yourself and just do your best and submit this application. I know that the deadline for applying is in November. If you have not started yet, it is not too late for you to start. It is not too late for you to start. So yeah, this is how I was able to start and submit my application. I will talk further in other videos when the interview time is coming closer on how to prepare for your interview. But for now, this is how I prepared to submit a successful Chevening application before I was invited for an interview, and subsequently I was chosen for Chevening, and now I have started my master's program in the UK. So please do not doubt yourself. Wherever you are right now, believe in yourself that by this time next year, because by this time last year, I was writing down, I was thinking, I was researching, I was watching YouTube videos, I was just racking my brain, how would I get this? And then fast forward to this year, see where I am. So this can be you, and I believe that you also will be chosen for Chevening. Hi guys, it's Nanku here once more. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share as well. If you have any questions, if you want me to do a video or something else, write it in the comment section and I will do my best to make a video on that as well. Bye.